Hey everybody, welcome to Friday Fall for March 1st to 5th. The excitement of the last month in February and now in the first week here in March and really a core project here of March is the launch of Lasso ETH on Blockchain, our first centralized exchange partner, Blockchain.io. They're one of the premier exchanges, most innovative exchanges in the Brazilian market, and they're going to offer the opportunity for their users to stake ETH, in return get LETH back. So LETH is wrapped ETH that represents ETH that's been staked to the Beacon chain, which is running the Ethereum 2 protocol upgrade. And all that Ethereum that's being staked onto the Beacon chain and running a validator is earning approximately 10% APY in staking validating rewards. That fluctuates based on how much ETH is being staked to the chain overall and the overall performance of the validator that's running it, as well as the different dynamics that are happening independent of any person or entity inside the decentralized software that is running that. So our job with Lasso Finance is to run all that infrastructure, run the validator node as optimally as possible, run the smart contract that is wrapping and unwrapping that ETH and that LETH out to the exchange. Our relationship is only with the exchange, so we don't deal with any of the consumers. That's Blockchain's end of the partnership, is creating the distribution and the interaction between users and LETH. Will be there. That LETH will be an ERC20 that those users can take, put down in their own self custody, take off to DeFi, do all the different things you can do with ERC20s. Our job is to maintain that software as a service relationship between us and Blockchain, to run the smart contract that wraps and unwraps, deposit ETH as it comes down into that smart contract, deposit it out to the Ethereum 2 smart contract, and then run the validator nodes as they get put online and ensure that they run as optimally as possible. And then when things are ready in a year or 2 years from now on the Ethereum 2 protocol, unwrap those LETH for the ETH plus the rewards that ETH has earned on the validator nodes. So that's a really exciting product innovation for the Brazilian marketplace. As we understand, there isn't a staking as a service offering yet native to the Brazil, nor is there a wrapped ETH product that represents that in the Brazilian market. So we're really excited to kind of be first and foremost in that very large consumer market, and a market that makes lots of sense from a crypto perspective. So I'm having lots of fun learning more about that marketplace and the different dynamics there relative to where I'm from here in Canada, and obviously my understanding of Canada and the US. Learning about Brazil is lots of fun. Big opportunities there, and part of that is we with Blockchain have sponsored a crypto award program that's being run by Cointelegraph Brazil, as well as a couple of the major Brazilian crypto publications. So that event is happening on March 30th. I'll share more information about that as it comes in. Most of the content I suspect will be in Portuguese, with subtitles, and guys like me and Chime will probably be subtitled and all that kind of good stuff happening. So I'm sure there'll be a mix of English and Portuguese content, but for a Portuguese audience. So that's kind of fun and interesting. So March 30th, that's coming out. We have we're working very hard to make sure that we have LETH up on our order book on Blockchain prior to that. So there's some trading and some volume already happening around LETH on Blockchain. And if you're eligible, which if you're Canadian or American, which most of you probably are, you're not. It's a Brazilian product for Brazilian exchange. But if you can, I encourage you to go sign up with Blockchain. And lots more publication will be coming out of me, Lasso Finance, Blockchain, and our partners around that, educating more about the product and the opportunity to interact with it. Looking to speak with more exchanges. We think Blockchain's a very indicative customer for Lasso. We kind of see it as a mid-size crypto exchange, so decent amount of volume, decent amount of users. But the real core value proposition is being a Brazilian exchange. So the ability to onboard Brazilian reals, work in that regulatory jurisdiction correctly, so do all the right KYC, AML for those customers, and maintain the right kind of relationship with the Brazilian customer. And that's really important. I think most of the mid-market exchanges represent that. I think all the Canadian exchanges are mid-market or below type exchanges, and their primary job to us as Canadian consumers is to be a rail for loonies onto that exchange and make sure that us as Canadians are working in the right regulatory environment to interact with crypto relative to Canadian law, Canadian tax. And blockchain does that very well for Brazil. So we want to look at how do we, we're working on getting our first Canadian exchange partner. There's about a handful of them, and we've had some conversations with all of them and moving down the process with that. So hopefully we'll be able to make a Canadian announcement sometime in the near future. Going to look for an American partner, going to look for European partners, going to have a bunch of conversations around Asian partners. So really those exchanges that don't have enough dev team, engineering team to build out the infrastructure to drive these products out are our ideal customer. We can provide all the technology infrastructure services they can do so they can go and focus on what they're doing best, which is engaging with their audiences and driving new product innovation out to the market so they can have a deeper, more sophisticated relationship with those users by offering them staking yield, other entry points from centralized finance to decentralized finance, so that using that centralized relationship they have of being regulated entities in their environment, having the proper interaction with their customers based on those regulations. But once those funds are onboarded, getting full utility out of the decentralized finance ecosystem. So instead of just buying and holding, buying and trading, start to actually use and interact with the protocols, because the beauty of staking your ETH to the beacon chain is you're securing Ethereum 2 and building the planks towards that Ethereum 2 upgrade. And that Ethereum 2 upgrade is going to make everything else in DeFi and NFTs and all the things that you see in the headlines much, much better, faster, and cheaper by reducing the overall transaction expense, gas, by reducing the dependence on that, which will make things go faster and cheaper, certainly. And the better is it'll be more secure, consume less energy, all these things. I'm a big proof of work advocate when it comes to Bitcoin, but I'm very open-minded to the proof of stake around Ethereum. And we'll see how that evolves and and how that plays out. I got all kinds of other opinions about proof of work, proof of stake, but there's better, faster, cheaper is an outcome that is available in Ethereum 2. So the users contributing to that as broadly as possible helps decentralize it, helps engage people in how does this thing actually work? How do I get this to be more than just a ticker on an exchange that I swap when the prices are right? And get into what am I engaging with? What am I doing here? How do I participate in decentralized finance? How do I participate in decentralization of value exchange, which is hyper important concept in this day and age, as we see all kinds of different things that would make one scratch their head if you put yourself into a time machine back literally 12 months ago. So all that to say, announcements coming about the crypto awards in Brazil that we're a sponsor of on March 30th. Love for you guys to participate that and check it out. Insofar as it's available in English and what have you, and the blockchain launch. And the blockchain launch is on target for this month. So that and hopefully some more exchanges to follow in terms of those announcements. Really appreciate you taking the time here on your Friday afternoon and reach out with comments, questions. We've got some other content that's going to get published via blog and Medium in the near future. Look for it. And we'll speak to you again, or at least type to you again on Monday. Cheers.